Imagine this, my great friend. You live in a world where everyone is rich, including you. A world where money isn't a problem, where you never worry about bills, where every single person around you is financially secure. Sounds insane, right? But here's a real insanity. This should have been reality. The fact that 99% of people today are struggling to survive, living paycheck to paycheck, stressing over rent, drowning in debt. It's not because of the economy, it's not because of the government. And no, it's definitely not because of the Kardashians. The real problem, my great friend, our own bad habits, the way we think about money, the way we spend it, the way we let it slip through our fingers before we even have a chance to use it wisely. But here's the thing. What if I told you everyone could be rich? That wealth isn't luck, it's a skill that has been understood for over 4,000 years ago. And that skill, it was discovered in the middle of a desert, in an ancient city that doesn't even exist anymore. A place where merchants, kings, and common workers all followed the same wealth-building secrets. And yet, here we are, thousands of years later, still making the same money mistakes. But what if I told you we could change that? This book, my great friend, should be the financial Bible of every household, because inside it lies the most realistic way to get rich, even today. No, this isn't some self-help gimmick, no manifestation, no nonsense, no get-rich-quick scam. Just timeless practical wisdom that turned one man from a broke scribe into the richest man in Babylon. And today, my great friend, we're going to uncover exactly how he did it and why 99% of people still ignore these lessons. Our story begins in a place that should have never existed. Babylon, a city built in the middle of nowhere. No rivers, no fertile lands, just endless sand, heat, and more sand. And yet, somehow Babylon became the richest and most advanced city of its time. Merchants traveled from all corners of the world just to trade here. Gold flowed through the streets. Scholars, inventors, and kings gathered to unlock the secrets of wealth. And in the heart of this great city, there was a man who had more gold than the king himself. His name was Arkad, and unlike the nobles, he wasn't born rich. He wasn't a prince, a warrior, or a merchant. He started out like most people today, working hard, making just enough to survive, wondering why the rich keep getting richer, while everyone else struggles. But one day, he made a decision that changed everything. One evening, after finishing his work as a scribe, Arkad sat down watching the city. He saw the nobles draped in silk, riding in their golden chariots, living the dream. He looked down at his own hands, rough, ink-stained, overworked, and that's when it hit him. And so Arkad did something most people never do. He decided to find out. So Arkad went to the richest money lender in Babylon, a man named Algamish. This guy was so wealthy he could fund entire wars and still have gold left over for fun. And Arkad asked him a question that would change his life forever. Teach me how to be rich. Now, let's be honest. If you ask a rich man today how to make money, he'd probably laugh and tell you to work harder, all this bullshit. But Algamish, he didn't laugh. He saw something in Arkad, and so he told him the first rule of wealth. The one rule that even today most people still ignore. And that rule, my great friend, is where real wealth begins. Now, my great friend, before we uncover the first rule of wealth, let me get my apple. Because remember, an apple a day keeps the doctors away. And apparently financial ruin too. Because what Algamish said next was the difference between being rich and staying broke forever. He said, a part of all you earn is yours to keep. And then Arkad was like, that's it? Algamish nodded and said, yes, that's it. And yet, most people never do it. Arkad didn't get it at first. And he said, of course, I keep my earnings. I work. I earn, I spend on food, clothes, rent, blah 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 blah. And then Algamish, the rich guy, burst out laughing and said, "No, you fool, you're paying everyone but yourself. Your landlord gets a share, the market vendors get a share, even the sandal maker gets a share. But what do you keep for yourself?" Arkad realized he had nothing. He was working just to keep other people rich. Now, my great friend, let's be real. This is not just an ancient Babylon problem. This is a today problem. Most people do exactly what Arkad did. They work hard, get their paycheck, and then it's gone. Rent, groceries, phone bills, the coffee you swore you stopped buying. And then by the end of the month, they look at their bank account like, wait, where did my money go? And that's the trap. We pay everyone else first. And if there is anything left, maybe we save a little. But Algamish was saying, flip the script. Pay yourself first, before rent, before food, before anyone else. Take at least 10% of everything you earn and keep it. And this, my great friend, was the first step to Arkad's wealth. So Arkad, now enlightened, decided to follow this rule. He saved 10% of his income. And after a year, he actually had a decent amount of gold. And that's when he made his first big mistake. Arkad, feeling proud, meets a brickmaker friend. And he said to the brickmaker friend, "I have saved gold. I must invest it wisely. What should I do?" The brickmaker said, "Oh, easy. Give it to me. I will travel far and bring back rare jewels." Arkad thought about it and said, makes sense. And he handed over his saving. Algamish, hearing that, was like, "You gave your gold to a brickmaker to buy jewels? Are you out of your mind?" Let's just take a moment to appreciate this level of financial genius. And of course, the brickmaker got scammed. The jewels were fake, and Arkad lost everything. Algamish sighed and told him, "If you want to build houses, ask a builder. If you want to trade jewels, ask a jeweler. If you want to make money, learn from people who actually have it." And this, my great friend, is where most people fail today. How many times have we seen someone dump their savings into crypto because their friend said so, or buy stocks because on TikTok video, or listen to their uncle who's still paying off their car loan? If you wouldn't take fitness advice from someone who's out of shape, why take money advice from someone who's broke? Arkad learned the hard way. And this, my great friend, was the first true lesson in wealth building. But here's the thing, Arkad wasn't a fool twice. He saved again. He learned from his mistakes. And this time he did something different. He found a real financial expert. Someone who actually knew how to make money work. And the results, oh my great friend, this is where Arkad truly started to build wealth. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover next. Alright, my great friend. So Arkad saved his gold, then gave it to a brickmaker to buy jewels, and got scammed. Lesson learned, right? But here's what made Arkad different from most people. He didn't give up. He didn't cry about it. He didn't start blaming the economy, the government, or some evil elites keeping him poor. Instead, he did something most people never do. He tried again. And this time, instead of handing his savings to a brickmaker, he took it to a man who actually knew how to make money, a master money lender. And this, my great friend, where everything has changed. The lender took Arkad's gold and lent it out to merchants and traders. In return, they paid him interest. And that interest, it started compounding. And this, my great friend, is the moment Arkad stopped working for money and made money work for him. Think about it. He wasn't sweating in the sun, carving stones or writing manuscripts. He wasn't chasing customers or making sales. He was letting his money do the hard work. Now, fast forward to today, most people still don't get it. They work their whole lives for money, spending every dollar they make. Meanwhile, the wealthy, they make their money work for them. And that's exactly what Arkad was doing. Here's the best part. Arkad's gold didn't just make him more gold, it multiplied. The interest he earned, he reinvested it. And that reinvested gold made him even more gold. This is called compounding, and that's how real wealth is built. This is how people today build generational wealth, not by saving money in a bank that pays 0.0001% interest, not gambling on a random investments, but by putting their money in places where it grows automatically. So, let me ask you, is your money working for you? Or are you just working for money? And here's the crazy part. Arkad still had the same job. He was still working as a scribe. But now, for the first time in his life, he wasn't afraid of being broke. Because now, his gold was multiplying without him doing anything. And this, my great friend, is where everything shifted. He had the freedom to choose, to work because he wanted to, not because he needed to. And that right there is the real reason people want money. Not for the luxury, not for the cars or mansions, but for the freedom, the ability to wake up one day and say, I don't need to work today and I'll still be fine. So Arkad kept following these rules of wealth. He kept reinvesting, making smarter moves, and his gold grew beyond anything he imagined. Now at this point, Arkad has gone from a broke scribe to one of the richest men in Babylon. And here's what's interesting. He didn't keep his knowledge to himself, because one day the king himself called upon Arkad. The king advisors came to him and said, Your Majesty, the people are struggling, the rich are getting richer and the poor can't keep up. They work hard, yet still they are broke. We must teach them how to create wealth. And so, my great friend, Arkad was called to teach the entire city the rules of wealth. And what he told them, oh, you're gonna want to hear this. Because these are the exact lessons that can still make you rich today. Babylon was at the crossroads. The city was rich. Gold flowed through its markets, merchants thrived, and grand buildings stood tall. But the people, they were struggling. The king advisors had told him the truth. Those workers are broke. The merchants are hoarding gold. The wealthiest rule over the poorest, and most will never escape poverty. The king was deep in thought, finally speaks, and he said, Then we must teach them. He declared, Bring me the richest man in Babylon. If he has built such great wealth, let him teach others to do the same. I'm gonna be honest, I wish we had such a king nowadays. And so Arkad was called upon by the king himself, not to lend gold, not to fund an army, but to teach the people the secrets of wealth. The king looked at Arkad and asked, If a man is born poor, must he stay poor? Arkad smiled and said, No, your majesty, wealth is not a birthright, it's a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. The king leaned forward and said, Then teach them. Teach them how to go from nothing to wealth. Arkad nodded and said, Then let them meet me for 7 days. And in those 7 days I will teach them the laws of gold. And my great friend, these are the exact same lessons that can still make you rich today. Arkad's first lesson was, gold slips from the hands of those who don't respect it. If you spend everything you earn, you will always be a slave to money. But if you keep even a small portion for yourself, you will plant the seed of wealth. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Arkad repeated it. Not for your landlord, not for your food, for you. Even a slave who keeps 1 coin in 10 will one day buy his own freedom. Arkad continued, and if a slave can become rich, what excuse do you have? And there it is, my great friend. The simplest wealth building rule that 99% of people still ignore. Here's the reality. Most people never escape financial struggle because every time they earn more, they spend more. Oh wow, you got a raise? Congrats! Now go spend it on things you don't need and wonder why you are still broke. Genius! Oh my god. Arkad understood this for centuries. Money will always disappear if you let it slip. But if you take even 10% of the top and never touch it, wealth will start growing. But Arkad heard someone says, I barely make enough money to survive. How can I save when I have nothing? Arkad smirked and said, if a king demand you pay him 10% of all you earned, would you find a way? Of course, the man hesitated and said yes, of course. Then why it is, Arkad asked him, that you can't find a way to give to a king but never to yourself? Control your expenses, Arkad continued. Don't mistake wants for needs. If you cannot save when you earn little, you will never save when you earn more. And there it is, my great friend. Most people don't have an income problem. They have a spending problem. If you can't save 10% of $1,000, what makes you think you'll save 10% of $10,000? If you don't control your spending now, you will never will. Once you have saved gold, you must put it into work. Gold that sits is like a warrior who never fights. It's useless. This is what separates the rich from the poor. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. Your gold must breed more gold, Arkad said, and the children of your gold must breed even more gold. And my great friend, this is exactly how real wealth is built. Arkad taught 7 rules in total, and every single one of them is as powerful today as it was 4,000 years ago. And if you follow them, you might just become the richest man in your own Babylon. Who knows? But before we wrap up, there is one final lesson. And this one, most people get completely wrong. And that, my great friend, is what we'll uncover next. For 7 days, Arkad had taught the laws of gold to the people of Babylon. They listened, they nodded, some even took notes on their clay tablets. But then, the king issued a challenge, and he said to the crowd, now that you have learned the secrets of wealth, prove that you can apply them. Give each man here 1 gold coin. In 1 year, let us see who has built wealth and who has lost it all. And just like that, Babylon became an experiment, a test of human nature. Because my great friend, this is where things got interesting. And so 1 year later, the king called forth the men who had taken the challenge. And what they revealed, oh my great friend, it was a master class in why most people stay broke. A man from group 1 steps forward and says, Your Majesty, I must confess, I spent the gold. The moment I received it, I saw a fine robe, then a good feast. And well, now I have nothing. Ah, the classic move. Spend first, worry later. We see this even today, my great friend. Because let's be honest, how many times have we seen someone got a bonus, a tax refund, a raise, and within weeks, it's gone? We call it lifestyle inflation, and Arkad just called it stupidity. And then another man steps forward, looking all nervous and says, Your Majesty, I also lost my gold, but not by spending. I invested it. I gave it to a merchant promising to triple my money in 1 year, but he has disappeared, and my gold with him. Oh boy. Here we go again. The classic get rich quick mindset. Look, my great friend, if someone promises you huge profits, 0 risks, and fast returns, they're not offering you an investment. They're robbing you. And Babylon has its fair share of crypto bros too. And from group 3, a man steps forward, holding his gold tightly and says, Your Majesty, I did not lose my gold, but I did not grow it either. I feared risk, so I hid it beneath my floor. And this is, my great friend, is the most silent wealth killer of all. Fear. Because here's the reality. Saving alone won't make you rich. Inflation will eat your wealth alive. Money must work for you. Then the final man steps forward, standing tall and confident. Your Majesty, I followed Arkad's lessons. I kept 1/10 of all I earned in addition to the coin you gave me and invested it with those who knew how to make gold grow. And now I return to you not 1 gold coin but 10. And that, my great friend, is how wealth is built. Arkad's final lesson to the crowd was, the truth, my friends, some spent their wealth, some gambled it away, some were too scared to use it, and only a few turned it into something greater. The laws of gold never change. The question is, will you follow them? And this, my great friend, is where most people fail. Most people know what to do. They just never do it. They learn the rules, but ignore them. They say, I'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So, let me ask you after hearing these lessons, what will you do? Because knowledge alone won't make you rich. Only action will. And so, my great friend, this is exactly how a poor scribe became the richest man in Babylon. Not by luck, not by a birthright, but by understanding the simple rules of wealth and actually applying them. Now, 4,000 years later, these rules haven't changed. Only one question remains: will you use them? The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe, like, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because let's be honest, most people could use this knowledge. And if you're serious about learning more, stick around. We're only just getting started. See you in the next one, my great friend. Peace.